Statement. Maybe you should talk to Brendan Horan. I understand he might have been sacked at the time.
Order. That's not helpful to the order of the House. Question number 2, David Bennett.
Supplementary. Mr. Speaker, my question is to the Minister of Finance. What reports has he received on building momentum in the New Zealand economy and how this is supporting jobs?
Honourable Bill English.
Mr. Speaker, yesterday the ASB released its quarterly economic forecasts pointing to a broad-based improvement in business activity. This follows encouraging reports from other forecasters. The higher dairy payout will add $4 billion of income to the regional economy, and that sits alongside a recovery in meat prices, although livestock numbers will take some time to rebuild from the drought. The Canterbury rebuild is gaining traction, and ASB says the Auckland housing market is on the cusp of a housing construction pickup. Recent migration figures show less New Zealanders are leaving for Australia because of the relative improvement in the New Zealand labour market, meaning they're relatively more likely to get a job here than they are in Australia. This is an encouraging picture of consistent economic growth.
Supplementary question.
Supplementary question, David Bennett.
How is the improved economic momentum being reflected in business and consumer confidence? And what growth does this point to over the next few years?
Honourable Bill English.
Mr. Speaker, last week the ANZ released its survey of consumer confidence. Confidence was up in September and remains above the long-term levels of consumer confidence. Consumers report feeling better off than a year ago and more likely to buy a major household item. ANZ also reports that business sentiment is strong. These confidence levels point to reasonably good economic growth in the year ahead, with higher incomes and more jobs for more New Zealanders.
Supplementary question.
Supplementary question, David Bennett.
How is increasing confidence among businesses and consumers delivering jobs and growth in the economy?
Honourable Bill English.
Well, Mr. Speaker, it's important that there are new jobs in the economy because in any given quarter, up to 100,000 jobs disappear from the economy. So it's pleased to see higher levels of confidence translating into rising employment. Trade Me Jobs reports job listings are up nearly 10% over a year ago. Manawatu and Wanganui job listings are up 17%, and they are regions. Bay of Plenty listings are up 13%, and I understand Bay of Plenty is regarded as a region. Mr. Speaker, the Seek Jobs website reports the strongest growth in job listings in the South Island. In particular, Marlborough, which is a region, West Coast, which is certainly a region, and Southland, which is somewhat metropolitan but probably a region.
Supplementary question.
Supplementary question, David Bennett.
What reports has the Minister received endorsing the government's economic program and the current improvement in the New Zealand economic direction?
Honourable
Mr.
Bill
Speaker,
English.
there are so many of these reports, but some of them are particularly satisfying. There was one last night, and I'll quote, "With respect to the economy, it's certainly heading in the right direction. We celebrate the improvement." That actually was on TVNZ yesterday morning. Current leader of the Labour Party, David Cunliffe.
Supplementary question. Right, Honourable Winston Peters. Order.
Could I ask the Minister what steps to prevent the recent closure of a Shannon Fellmongery and a Rotorua sawmill with large job losses did the government take, including addressing a grossly overvalued exchange rate now heading towards 90 cents US?
Honourable Bill English.
Mr. Speaker, we share the member's concern about the value of the exchange rate, and the single most important measure the government is taking to do what it can to relieve pressure on the exchange rate is to increase the supply of housing more quickly on the ground, particularly in Auckland. And the Minister just a couple of weeks ago announced special housing areas for 5,000 houses. Otherwise, our exchange rate is determined largely by the state of the US economy. As it continues to improve, it's likely that our exchange rate will be re-rated downwards.
Question number 3, Materia Ture.
Tēnā koe, Mr Speaker. Tēnā koutou i te whare. My question is to